as I continue to put the pieces together and dissect this pandemic economically, legislatively, psychologically, scientifically, and in every way possible, I keep finding new pieces. Now, if you've been watching carefully all of my previous videos, I never mentioned whether I thought the virus came from a bat or if it was genetically mutated. After reading this article from the Epoch Times, and if you want to find this article yourself, it's called Scientific Puzzles Surrounding the Wuhan Novel Coronavirus. After reading this and doing some research of my own, a little over an hour, into the science behind it, my hypothesis currently is that based upon the way this virus enters the body, it is most likely transmitted, or it did not originate in a bat because of the differences of their structure. Whether it was accidentally leaked out or used as a bioweapon, I don't know. I'll have to further do research on that. So let me read a little bit of the article, and then I will get into the science of it. Every virus must have a receptor to bind to human cells. It can only live inside human cells and must rely on human cells to replicate. Without these capabilities, viruses found circulating in blood or tissue fluids are easily cleared by the human immune system. Viruses enter human cells via specific surface protein channels. The interaction of viral surface proteins binding to human cells is similar to how keys are used to open locks. So basically, to surmise this paragraph, a virus has to have a receptor to bind to the cell. And it can only live inside the cell if it can replicate. But first, like a key, it must have a receptor. That's how the bacteria or the virus is entering the human body. Now, according to the narrative, the information that we have now, this virus originated in a bat at the Wuhan seafood market. An older gentleman ate the bat, and the virus went into him. Well, how was the virus transmitted? It's transmitted through the S protein. The S protein is called the spike protein. Now, what's interesting is the SARS outbreak back in 2003 in China had the virus enter the same way. That's how it had key access to human cells. Now, something else interesting is if you look into amino acids. Amino acids, basically, they're found in proteins. So your cells, muscles, and your tissues are made up of amino acids, and they give the cells their structures. Basically, it's the genetic code. They build the proteins and form protein molecules, and proteins form the cells. There are 21 amino acids, but they can be arranged in infinite ways, so they can create different types. Basically, a bat's cells, a bat's anatomy, a bat's genetic code is not the same as a human's, right? I think we can all agree on that. Well, then how would a virus enter into the spike protein in a human if the amino acids of a human are not 100% similar to a bat? That's where I'm getting into this. This virus, in my opinion, is genetically engineered to attach to the S protein, which is the spike protein, because it was similar to the SARS outbreak. But if you're going to tell me, again, all of these things are just factual, but if you're going to tell me that a virus can enter into a bat and then enter into a human the same way without having to change, without having to adapt, then you're telling me that the genetic code of a human is the same as a bat's, based upon basic science. So it's my hypothesis that this was genetically created in a lab. As far as why, as far as if it leaked out accidentally, or if it's used as a bioweapon, I will have to do further research on.